Hey guys, it's Halo553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing. Today we're going to be checking out one of the latest releases from Takara Tomy, that being Samurai Calibur. So first off, we'll look at the packaging. It's your standard booster packaging, so we got a very nice image of Samurai Calibur, along with Wave in the background. Right there, BX45, this is a BX Beyblade. On the side, Beyblade X app stuff. On the other side, balance type, and on the back of the box just goes over the bay itself. So of course this bay is used by Tenka. This is her newest bay. I don't know if this is going to be replacing Samurai Saber as a whole, or it's just going to be joining alongside it, but Tenka is the owner of this bay. So of course we have the new Samurai Calibur blade. For the ratchet side, we have a new ratchet 670, and then for the bit, we have a new bit known as Merge. So pretty exciting stuff. So let's get into this. So yeah, this is a booster. So we aren't just getting the bay itself. Okay, so this is the instructions. No skill up guide with this. I'm pretty sure the skill up guide comes with the deck set. I do have the deck set on the way, so you'll be expecting a review of that. So, jeez, that bit is huge, my god. Like, I know when we saw the pictures, I knew this bit was going to be very tall, but I was not expecting to see it this tall. So there's the blade. It actually feels nice and heavy. There's the new 670 ratchet. And then finally, we have the bit. So I'll get them laid on the table and we'll go over them in more detail. Okay, so here is Samurai Calibur out of the packaging. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this looks so far. So first off, have a look at the blade itself. Love the gear chip. I think that looks really cool. I do like the avatar design a bit more than Samurai Saber. I think this one looks a lot better. So this is a balance type blade, so it's no longer an attack type blade, which is pretty interesting. But it still shares very similar shaping to Samurai Saber. So if I actually bring in the Samurai Saber D, if I angle it like this, you can kind of see that they do still share a similar shaping. But obviously, I think this one's definitely a bit more squared. But still very interesting. And pretty heavy as well. I think this may be a very nice heavy blade. So yeah, with these contact points, it should have some really nice attack potential. But also some pretty good rebound potential as well. I'm not too sure on how it'll do on stamina though, but this should still be a really decent balance type blade. Still very nice looking blade. Next up, we have 670. So yes, we have a brand new ratchet heat with that 70 height. So we now have 660, 670, and now 680. This should actually be a pretty decent ratchet. 660 is used quite competitively at the moment. So 670 should actually work really well with certain combos. Probably will work a lot better than 680, but still, this should be really nice. And plus, very nice colors on this. I think this works really well with really any kind of the teal colors that you can equip this with. Still, very nice. Finally, we have probably the biggest controversial part of this. We have Merge. My god, this is a very tall bit. So, Merge is a balance type bit. So, and as you can see here, it does have like a small point to it. It's definitely more of a needle point, not points point. So I would think this would actually be kind of similar to Needle, but yours do have a bit of plastic surrounding it. So depending on how you launch, this will actually affect how this performs. Now, probably the obvious thing that makes this bit stand out is how tall it is. So if I actually bring in, say, level, as you can see, if I actually get my things in the way, you can see just how much more tall this is. Supposedly this is about 4 millimeters taller than the standard bit. So I'm really not too sure how that's really going to benefit this. Plus, this does have 18 gear teeth, so that's going to be a lot of stamina loss when it's hitting the extreme dash. But as you can see, with being a balance type bit, it does have some really good burst resistance. So on the burst resistance side, it should be pretty good. But when you're getting this toll, you really are going to be very susceptible to ratchet attacks, which is not very good considering that shark scale is now one of the lowest profile bays you can actually use. But yeah, I'm really not too sure how this bit's going to be used. I mean, it'll be fun for a joke, but I'm not too sure how it's going to do performance-wise. Now, with this combination of parts, Samurai Calibur is a balance type, which definitely quite a change up from Samurai Saber, which is an attack type. Alright, let's now do some weights then. So, the merge bit, this weighs 3.33 grams, so that's actually pretty heavy for a ratchet. For a bit. New 670 ratchet, this weighs 6.33 grams. And the Samurai Calibur blade, this weighs 35.97 grams. That's actually definitely not too bad at all. I think that's a really good weight. I do have another one here, so I want to get this away up. So 35.97 versus 35.99. So it seemed the average weight for this bay is probably around 36 grams. So that is actually definitely not too bad at all. So let's put this bay all together. Granted, hold on. So there's the full combo. Just to put into perspective how tall this is, here it is with Captain America. Try to get this line up. As you can see, it does make this bay quite a bit taller. And here it is with Wizard Arc. As you can see, with this merge bit and the fact that it's on the 70 ratchet, it makes this bay pretty much as tall as a CX bay, which is actually kind of scary. So altogether, this weighs 45.68 grams. So definitely a pretty good weight overall, but I'm very interested on how this performs. So let's test this out. So now we're going to do some test spins and then some test battles with this new bay. So I'm just going to stick with the stock combo for this video, but I'm going to see how this goes in some custom combos later on. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that's not a great start. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. So it's staying in the center. Now granted, I'm just launching it flat at the moment, so I'm going to try it with an angled launch to see how this affects it. But it seems to stay relatively in the center, like most needle bits tend to do. Still, that's actually pretty stable given how tall it is. That's actually really not too bad at all. Alright, so now I'm going to try it with an angled launch. So I'm going to angle downwards. So yeah, it's hopping into the line a bit more with an angled launch. It's definitely a bit more unbalanced when you do it like that. Try that again. So yeah, it's hopping into the line a bit more, but still pops back into the center. Alright, well, let's try some test battles with this thing. That stamina is not great. Yeah, that is, yeah, it seems like it's, when it gets knocked around, it tends to get destabilized and lose its spin really quick. So, Might try a different combo with this, actually. Now I'm actually going to try Samurai Calibur with 960 Hexa. I got a feeling this should be a pretty decent combo for it, but let's see how it goes. Oh, that was cutting close there. Okay, to switch it up again, I'm actually now going to put Samurai Calibur onto Low Rush and see how it goes as an attack type. And also, just because it's funny, I wanted to see how Nightmare goes on Merge. Just want to see how this goes. Yeah, that merge bit's not great. It's the fact that it's not only is it making it tall, but just with how the actual tip is protruding, it's not really allowing the bait to get as much stamina if it gets knocked around. So definitely not a great bit. Okay, that's some decent attacks. Okay. It does pretty decently as an attack type, I will say that. That was it from a look at Samurai Calibur. I will say, for the most part, this is a pretty good release overall. Now, the blade itself, I think the blade is really, really good. I don't really expect it to be exactly meta-changing, but it should be pretty interesting to see on the field. It has some pretty good defensive potential, it has some really good attack potential, but it's definitely not going to be as groundbreaking compared to, say, Hollow Wyvern, Byxis Blast, or even, say, Ground Buster and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely not going to be like hitting as well compared to some of the other main blades that we see competitively, but it would be a nice change of pace if you're looking for something a bit different. The 670 ratchet, I can't really complain much about it. I mean, the 660 is always really, really good. So 670 should actually perform pretty decently. Now, Merge though, not great. But I will say, it's definitely not its height that's the issue. That's actually something I will say. It's not its height. It's the tip. Sure, when it's in the center and it stays nice and stable, it stays relatively pretty stable. But once it starts getting knocked around and it hits the extreme line, and plus with this rubberized material, you do lose a lot of your stamina really fast. And the fact that you have 18 teeth, yeah, this bet is not great. Now again, I'll say this again, it's not the height that's the issue. It's just the teeth and the tip. I will say, if this had less teeth, and maybe this actually wasn't like more rubberized, and maybe it had some different material used, this could be a really good bit. But yeah, as it stands, at least with Samurai Calibur, the bit's not great. But can I still recommend this bay? Yeah, I can still recommend it, but just don't expect it to be groundbreaking. But it is a fun bay to use overall. But that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Beyblade X videos in the future. And until then, I'll see you all in the next video.